How's it going, guys? Summer is well and truly underway here in the UK, and today I'm out hunting for probably one of the most famous summer species, the butterfly. I'm at a reserve in the north of Essex that's famous for butterflies, has some incredibly rare and incredibly colourful species on show. So let's see what we can find. My name's Adam and welcome to Naturescope. So today I'm out at the same nature reserve that we recorded the Adder video a few months ago, Great Holland Pits, and it's one of the best nature reserves I've ever seen for wildlife in general, but also for insects. Every single flower and every single warm spot is covered by some sort of insect, and mostly bees and butterflies, which is really rare to see. I can't think of too many nature reserves that are absolutely brimming with butterflies. We've unfortunately had a huge decline of insects here in the UK, which I'll talk about later in the video, so it's nice to have somewhere that's a bit of a safe haven for them. Also brought the trusty camera out with me today. I'm no wildlife photographer, I'm not as good as Callum is, but I'm going to give it a go. There's so many butterflies here that some of them should hopefully stay still for me. So I've been out for about an hour now, and there are butterflies absolutely everywhere. The thing with butterflies though, if anyone's tried to photograph them before, is they don't like people coming near them. One or two though have been really chill with me being close to them, so let's take a look at some of the footage I've got. What I'll do is I'll show the footage, talk a bit about the butterfly, some cool facts about it, so enjoy. The first butterfly I came across down at Great Holland Pits was the Coma. You'll notice just how orange it is. It's bright orange, it really stands out, and it was quite obvious to spot. The second thing you'll notice is the unusual shape of the wings. The wings on the Coma almost look like they've been cut out by scissors. Most butterflies have these really curved, really well-defined edges, whereas the Coma is quite rough and quite sort of rigid around the sides. The Coma can grow to have a max wingspan of about 6 centimeters long and will live roughly 8 months. On screen now is the best photo I managed to get of the Coma from my day's filming. The photo shows really well that there's actually 4 segments of the Coma. Its wings have been quartered, making it a really unusual shape. The next butterfly that allowed me to get close was this Peacock Butterfly. You'll notice the orange wings and then of course the big, almost eye-looking spots at the top right and left of its wing. This is what gives it its name, because they're thought to look like peacock feathers. Its wingspan again grows maximum to about 6 centimeters wide, and its lifespan is just under a year. The adults will sit on flowers and drink the nectar straight from them, which is likely what this adult is doing. It also has 2 more spots underneath its wings, which we can't quite see on the video, but the best photo I got from the day sort of helps us to see this. You can just see at the bottom left its other sort of dark peacock spots tucked away. I said earlier in the video I was going to talk a little bit about insect decline. It's thought that in the past 20 years we've lost 60% of our flying insects. It's also thought that butterflies specifically have declined by 80% in total. Now, why has there been such a high decline in insects in such a short amount of time? Well, there's a few reasons for that. The main reason is habitat loss. A lot of our grasslands, a lot of our wildflower meadows, a lot of our forests have been cut down to make way for new builds and new housing, which is a tricky situation because we need housing, but at the same time we need these habitats for our animals like butterflies. There's also more cars on the road than there ever has been before. I'm sure we've all driven down the motorway, and once we've got out the car we've looked at our bumper or our windscreen and seen that it's absolutely covered in bugs. Now imagine how many bugs that hundreds and thousands of cars every single day are killing just by driving down the motorway. That's going to cause a huge decline. We also have to look at global warming. Our winters aren't as harsh as they used to be, they're actually a lot warmer. And sometimes we have these crazy warm weeks or 2-week periods during January and February. Animals come out of hibernation and know when it's time to grow or spawn or whatever it is they do based on the temperature. Now if the temperature becomes too hot over 2 weeks, you see those butterflies there chilling by me, but if the temperature becomes too hot over the course of a few weeks, then a lot of animals will come out of hibernation and start their sort of spring and summer processes. Now imagine if it gets extremely cold again straight after, because it's still February. A lot of these animals are wiped out before they've even had a chance to get going. So what are the knock-on effects of us losing insects? Well, there's actually plenty. Birds and bats rely on eating insects, so if there's an insect decline, there'll naturally be a bird and a bat decline due to lack of food availability. There's also huge effects for us. Our farming industry relies on butterflies, bees, wasps to pollinate, to cross-pollinate and to sort of help grow our food. And if there's less insects, then it means growing food is a lot harder and a lot more expensive. And that increase in cost will reflect back on us as the consumer. We'll start going into supermarkets and noticing that our veg and that our flowers are costing a lot more. Is there anything we can do? Well, a lot of it falls on our government and our decision makers to protect these spaces that are so important for insects. But what you can do is turn your garden, if you have one, into a nature-friendly space. Plant wildflower, plant trees, plant bushes, and just try and encourage as many insects into your garden as you can, and just give them some safe space to be able to spawn, spend the winter in, or whatever it is they need to do. Whilst it's still important to keep the decline of our butterflies here in the UK in mind, let's get back to some of the amazing butterflies we can see now. I was allowed to get really close to this common brimstone. These are probably one of the coolest butterflies and my personal favourite. The first thing you'll notice about them is the green colour with the spots on. You'll almost think they look like a leaf, and that's the whole point. Their whole body design is for camouflage, to make them harder to spot for predators and to make them blend into their environment. You'll notice that my camera really struggled to focus on it because it looked just like everything else in the area. They're not as big as other butterflies, growing up to around 4 centimetres long, and they can live up to a year. The photo shows its beautiful face. It's almost like this pinky colour, and really shows off just how cool and how well camouflaged this butterfly is. Here's a few more videos of butterflies I wasn't able to feature in the video properly as they flew away whenever I got close. The final butterfly we're going to take a look at today is the red Admiral. You can see it's mostly black with spots of white and lines of orange going across the body. The thing that impressed me most about this butterfly was the second it closed its wings when I got close. It blended in with the wood that was on the floor perfectly. I'd never have spotted it. The red Admiral is the largest butterfly we've looked at today, with a wingspan of maximum 7 centimetres. It also lives for around 10 months. Butterflies have absolutely incredible camouflage. As you would have seen with the brimstone and that butterfly just now, it's absolutely amazing. They're obviously hugely predated by things like birds and bats. They're a really good source of food, and a lot of the time they're really big. So if a bird can catch one, it can sustain the bird for quite some time. We saw as that bright orange butterfly closed its wings and almost became sort of one with that piece of wood. You could barely see it. And if I hadn't have seen that butterfly when it was out in full orange with its wings spread, I'd never have seen it when its wings were closed just now. Well, I think that was a pretty good success. We got really close to a lot of really cool, really colourful butterflies with some amazing camouflage and beautiful bright colours on show. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, it really helps us out. Comment down below what's the coolest butterfly you've ever seen, where did you see it and what species was it, and subscribe to Naturescope to not miss any more future videos. We've got plenty coming towards the back end of this summer and for the rest of the year. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.